ColdFusion includes the administrator, a web app that gives you complete control over the settings of your server. Let's take a look. The ColdFusion administrator is a web application that allows us to manage our ColdFusion installation. When you finish first installing ColdFusion, you will be left in the administrator, but when you need to get into it later, you can open up any browser and type in its address, localhost:8500/cfide/administrator/index.cfm. Now, when you first install ColdFusion, it asks you to provide a password that you'll use for this administrator. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the password that I used when I set up ColdFusion, and I'm going to hit login. And that takes me here into the administrator. If you look over at the options on the left, you'll see that there are a lot of choices in the administrator. We're not going to go through all of these right now. Most of them would not make sense right as we are getting started in ColdFusion. As you progress and get further along in your learning of the language and the environment, you'll end up working with a lot of these settings. But I want to focus specifically on the security options, and I'm actually going to make my installation less secure than it starts out with. So from the options over here on the left, I'm going to click Security, and then I'm going to click Administrator. So again, when you first install ColdFusion, it asks you to provide a password for the administrator. That's great, and for a production server, you not only want to make sure you have a password, but you want to make sure you have a very strong password on the server. For a development machine, however, we're going to have to get into this administrator often enough that it gets kind of annoying to keep having to type that password over and over again. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this no authentication needed. Again, I would only ever do this in a development environment where I'm just using this instance of ColdFusion locally on my machine to test my pages. I would never want to do this on a production machine. So I'm going to go ahead and click Submit Changes, and you'll see that we get this green message: the server has updated successfully. Now I'm going to come back over here to the left, and I'm going to click RDS. RDS stands for Remote Development Services. It's a feature within ColdFusion that allows external editors such as ColdFusion Builder or Dreamweaver to talk to the administrator. Again, in a development environment, we don't want security on this, so I'm going to choose no authentication needed.